Zabit Magomedsharipov against Kyle Bochniak. This was a fight that initially, if you can believe it, was scheduled to be the first fight of the night. And it was moved to pay-per-view, and thankfully it was. And with us on the guest line is a man who was a part of that mayhem. The Gloucester, Massachusetts native, Kyle Bochniak, is with us. Kyle, appreciate a few minutes today, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's our absolute pleasure, and you look pretty good there in recovery. I didn't want to take up too much of your time today, but I just want to say on behalf of MMA fans around the world, I want to thank you for your skill, your heart, your effort in this fight with Zabit this weekend, because this is something that is going to stay with you no matter where you go in the career. I got to think your fan base swelled pretty considerably after what we saw this weekend, bud.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been crazy. Like 10,000 plus, 30,000 plus followers on Instagram, Twitter. You know, win or lose, I had an opportunity of a lifetime. My fight was pushed up to the main card, and I knew I just needed to let it lay all on the line, win or lose, just leave my heart out there, and I knew, it would be a victory.
So let's get into the strategy a little bit. I mean, a lot of people fancy Zabit Magomedsharipov a future UFC champion, and a lot of people liked your approach to be aggressive and to be fearless. We know you have fearlessness, not an issue for you. You accepted this fight when many others wouldn't. But what was the game plan going in, and did you quite know what you were up against in Magomedsharipov?
Yeah, I knew he was a stud. He's been around for a while. I think he was a 3-time Sambo champ over Russia. I knew it was going to be a test, and these are the type of fights I like. I like tough guys, Win or lose, I'm going to go bring it. If the victory comes, it's awesome. No risk, no glory. The game plan going versus Zabit was, just to stay gritty, make it a brawl. Sometimes you got to brawl a fighter, fight a brawler. I knew I had to get in his range and just, move my head like Mike Tyson and throw bombs, defend his takedowns, and just keep the pressure. And I knew he would will eventually. It just happened a little too late in the third. If it was a 5-round fight, I think I would have took the fight. But just basically just make it a gritty, tough fight and just keep coming forward.
Kyle, that's exactly what you did, man. You made Boston proud. You said brawl a fighter and then box a brawler. That sounds like something Tommy Connors would say or Peter Welch. How have they helped you get ready for fights, man?
Yeah, man, that's exactly where it came from. TC and Peter Welch, man. Just throw down, box a brawler, and brawl a fighter, man.
Yep.
That's what it came down to. I know he's very technical. I'm not gonna. He has more skills than me, and I know, I have more heart than him, and I knew my mind is stronger. I don't think no one out there has the heart and mind that's set as I do. You could teach skills, and I'm still green to the sport. I came to the UFC as only 6 fights. I've been in the UFC for 2 years now. If you look at my fights, I grow every single fight exponentially. I have the mindset. I have the heart. And 2 years from now, I feel like I could be a contender for the belt. So I'm just going to keep moving on, keep training, keep learning from Peter, John Clark at Broadway Jiu-Jitsu, cross-train at Lozon. So I'm just going to get better and better.
Kyle, you obviously had this amazing belief in yourself. But sometimes, there's just that little bit where you're not quite sure, but you go out there and you fight a fight where you're like, you know what? I know I can be the best now. Is that what this has done for you? What does this do for you going forward now?
Yeah, it's definitely given me the confidence that I can hang with top-level guys, like cream of the crop, so to speak. I have the confidence, my cardio, my pressure. Just like I said, just got to – every fight's different. I can game plan specifically for different people. My last fight versus Davis, I was on the outside of the pocket, picking my shots. Versus Zabit, I was all in, just throwing down, sticking my face out there to block his punches. So, it's different. And I definitely have the heart and athleticism and skill set and mindset to be a champ. I just got to get better and train in all these facets and areas of MMA.
It was an entertaining fight, man. It was amazing. If you were able to change one thing, what would you change in that fight against Zabit?
Honestly, I wouldn't change anything, man. I put my heart and soul into that fight. And like I said, win or lose, I have no regrets. I pushed. I left no bullets in the chamber. If anything, I just would have straightened my right hand out a little bit. And that's about it.
UFC featherweight Kyle Bochniak with us on the Anik and Florian podcast. Didn't seem like you were badly hurt at any point in time. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, I wasn't hurt at all. I felt strong the whole time. I was defending his takedowns. A worry was if I got to the mat, I wouldn't be able to get back up. So we worked a lot of mat returns, like hand fighting, scraping my back against the fence, just popping up. As soon as you see a lot of guys, once they get hit to the mat was Zabit. They quit. I knew as soon as I hit that mat, I needed to be like a cat and just spring up and hand fight, and that's what I did. My cardio felt great. I prepared well for this fight, and I felt strong, felt good, and just wish it was a 5-round fight. I'm gonna have to put that in my contract. All fights be 5 rounds.
Yeah, right. There you go. Well, maybe a main event's not too far off in the future.
Yeah.
Did you have any conversations with Dana White, Sean Shelby, or Mick Maynard after the fact?
No. They right after the fight, the UFC wanted to bring me to the hospital, make sure everything was okay. Orbital fractures, just to be safe, insurance purposes and stuff like that. So I didn't have a chance to see Peter. Dana or Shelby or anything, but I'm sure that they have a lot of respect for me and they want to congratulate me.
No doubt about it, and you get the $50,000 bonus. And I think more important than that bonus, I think just this puts you in such good stead with the promotion. And let's not forget, you have a win already this year against Brandon Davis. So, but for you and your wife, right, like I know how tight you guys are and how much she has meant to your career, right, to see Forrest Griffin tweet, Kyle Bochniak's my new favorite fighter, to get the $50,000 bonus, like, I got to imagine that triggers some pretty powerful emotions in a marriage when you put so much stock into this career and you start to have some seminal moments like this.
Yeah, of course, man. You said it perfectly. Like, basically, I'm an investment. I've been an investment for the past 6 years. She's been helping me with everything, paying the bills, the mortgage, the cell phone bills, the food. And, just to get that performance bonus and just to give back a little bit. And for someone that I've looked up to for so long, Forrest Griffin to tweet out something like that, like it pays dividends, and to know that we're on the right track and this investment is real and it's going to pay off.
Well, as Ken Flo said perfectly, man, you did Boston, Massachusetts proud, and for two guys who lived basically the first 30 years of our life in that Metro West Massachusetts pocket, man, we're certainly glad to call you one of our own. So I guess you get some time off now, right? I mean, you had the Davis fight in January, this fight in April. What's the calendar look like for you the rest of 2018?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to fight again in a couple of months, but I have a little orbital fracture, so I think it's going to be mandatory 3 months at least, 3 to 6 months, unless cleared by a doctor. But, me and my wife are going to go to Spain in June. We're going to enjoy it down there a little bit, and I'm sure I'm going to be back in camp, hopefully, and looking for my next fight.
Well, you have earned it, man. Kyle Bochniak, that fight's certainly going to be a cornerstone of your legacy. We hope you get healthy, and we look forward to at least one more start before the year's out, bud. Thanks for hopping on with us today, all right?
You got it, guys. Thank you
Kyle,
so much.
Give a hug. Give a hug to Peter and TC for me.
I will, bro. And it's so awesome talking to you, Kenny, man. I looked up to you for so long, man. So thanks for having me on.
You're the man. Amazing fight, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Now I'm really getting chills. See, when people compliment Ken Flo, it gets me all excited.
Yeah.
Kyle Bochniak with us on the Anik and Florian podcast. And I figured I was safe to book a Peter Welch guy, It's always good to see Peter back at these UFC shows. Obviously, he was a staple there during your era. And nice to see. I know he's only got a couple guys on the roster, but it's nice to see your former boxing coach there in the big show, He's
the man.
So in terms of that fight, man, and I said it on the broadcast to Rogan, I was like, you haven't seen this guy fight live before. I went to Shanghai for Thanksgiving, and I would have rather probably broken bread with my family, but Zabit was on the card, so I was like, all right, I'll go to Shanghai.
Yeah.
And I sort of say that tongue-in-cheek, but this dude is special. This is one of the – and, hey, if I'm speaking in too many absolutes, Ken Flo, so be it, right? But I've sat there for 120 UFC live events. This is one of the more special, complete, fluid mixed martial arts athletes that I have ever seen, not to mention the fact that he broke his hand during pre-fight warm-ups. But this guy with this frame at 145 pounds, it's hard to believe that at one point in time he's not going to be fighting for the belt.
Listen, I think what makes him special is the fact that he's absolutely fearless when he competes. He's not afraid to pull the trigger. And I think for a lot of guys, you can overanalyze things. You could be scared to throw a certain technique. This guy will throw a spinning attack. He'll throw, whatever it is. He'll jump off the cage. It does not matter. I think those are the kind of things that actually makes him sharper and makes him better as a fighter. Extremely well-rounded, very tall for the division, tough as nails as well if he needs to be. This is a guy who I think can go very far. Is he a perfect fighter in every aspect? No, there's very few that are. I don't think there's, maybe top 0.05% 5%, you know, the R.
Yep.
So for his Zabit, though, he just has a style that is going to be difficult for anyone out there. He can wrestle, he can strike, he can keep you on the outside, he can submit you as well. Zabit is going to be very tough to beat, man. He is a special fighter, and Mark Henry's been talking about him for a very long time. My understanding is that he's an absolute killer in training, and he's proven to be a killer in the octagon as well.
When Mark Henry got to Shanghai and I saw him and Ricardo Almeida in the lobby, he said to me, he's like, I'm just praying Zabit doesn't want to train all day, every day, right? Because it was a quick turn for him. I think he had a show the week before, and he's like, just got to Shanghai, and Zabit's probably going to make him hold pads literally all day long. I mean, there's no doubt that there's a work ethic behind it.
Awesome.
And this is also a lifelong athlete. He was very good at other sports, had a lot of opportunities growing up in Dagestan. So you injected Mark Henry's name into the conversation. I want to bring this up because Zabit Magomedsharipov is certainly, he's getting a top 15 opponent. They're going to find somebody that is going to sign on the dotted line. The name that he has called out now twice is Yayir Rodriquez. So Yayir responded on Twitter, congrats on a great win, Zabit. It would be an honor to fight you one day. We'll have to meet each other in the top 10, which I know you'll make quickly. My next fight is coming up, so stay tuned. So it seems as though Yayir Rodriquez is already booked. But Mark Henry responded in kind with arguably the tweet of the year. So here's Mark Henry. Really respect you, Yayir, I should say. You're an incredible fighter, but Frankie gave you a massive shot when you hadn't beaten a single guy in the top 30 and took a massive risk. You could return the favor to his teammate.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mark Henry, very, very respectful and trying to see if he can get that fight with Yayir Rodriquez. So a lot more to get into on UFC 223.
Octagon News.